Well, hello, this is Peter Combs from Bidamount.com and P.O. Combs Asian Art in Gloucester, Massachusetts, and today is September 18th. It's Friday, 2020, and this, of course, is our weekly video, a look back and see what's been going on in the Asian art and auction market over the last week since we talked with you last. One of the things I wanted to mention, we did put up the video this week. I know a lot of you have seen it, but in case you missed it, the preview for Asia Week this very soon, a couple of days, for Doyle's and the Bonham sales. Bonham's has put together a series of great sales with some really, really good pieces in it. And Doyle's has done a great job too. They've got over 650 lots in their sale. Lots of interesting things, Japanese things, some very nice porcelain, some bronze, a couple of bronzes and things we've talked about. You want to check them both out. Those of you who are not that familiar with Doyle's, every dealer knows about Doyle's in New York City. They all go to Doyle's. Doyle's is like Mecca. You can find things in there. You can. A lot of dealers go in there and they buy lots. There's ways to make money there. They do a really good job for their consigners. I've done business there years ago. I sold something there for a lot of money, and couldn't have been more pleased. But at any rate, check it out. And Bonham's, of course, is Bonham's, and they're great. So, all right, they're all doing a good job, and it's hard. I think right now all the dealers down there in the auction houses are struggling because of all that's going on. Trying to do a good thing, try to keep the, to bring a good product to the market and keep people interested, engaged, because it's a wonderful. It's also doing all this is a great way to get your mind off of things. I think a little willful avoidance of daily tensions is not bad for the soul. Okay. Now, one of the things I wanted to mention was we have been working, and I mentioned I'd bring you up to date on the latest with the site. This is, as I mentioned a few weeks ago when we first talked about this is a real big project. A couple of things that we have decided we are going to integrate and things that we're going to do. We've made some decisions based on all the emails you folks have sent me. We've gotten over 275 emails from people who are interested in using this site, interested in having it as an option because of the increasing limitations. eBay has just put in a whole bunch of new rules and regs on selling, how your money gets managed. They're going to put everybody in what they call managed payments, treating everybody like 9-year-olds. There's a lot going on that I think is increasingly developing a demand for something a little more for adults, okay? And that's what this site is going to be. We are going to have it in multi-language so that we decided to do that this week after looking at it for a while. It makes the site, it's technically much more complicated because it's going to be in multiple languages, and it has to integrate threads and all this other. I won't bore you with the details, but it's something. And we're also going to add auction extender. We want this to, when we start doing auctions, if this really goes well, we want to do auctions. We want to do auctions regularly from multiple sellers, and we're thinking of creating auctions from multiple people and doing 10-day sales and that kind of thing. But what we want to do is as the lots come up to close, if somebody throws a bid in the last second because they're really good with a computer or they've developed some kind of sniping gizmo and to grab it, it's going to extend the auction probably 2 minutes. You can do it as long as 5 minutes. I think that's too long. I think a 2-minute extension is more than enough to get a bid in to make up your mind. In a real live auction hall, you've got about 5 seconds. So I think that's a good thing. There will be watch lists. There will be favorite auctioneers and sellers lists that you can set up on your account once you open it. The account that you create, you will be able to buy and sell. All right, and on non-payers, which a lot of people talk about, and I got a lot of differing opinions on non-payers. All right, and as somebody that ran live auctions for a couple of decades, my feeling on people who buy at auction, who push the bid button or raise their paddle in the air, and then later bounce a check or don't pay their bill, there's not a lot of forgiveness there. I'm sorry. In the real auction world, you're banned from auction halls for doing that. All right, I've banned people. I've seen people banned for a big chunk of New England from auction halls for doing that. All right, a couple of people thought maybe it was unfair that we ban them for good. No, because you're gonna have 72 hours plus to pay your bill. If you get in touch with the seller and explain I'm away, you have an illness, legitimate stuff. Fine, call us up, tell us, no problem. We'll extend the time period or whatever. But if you're just ignoring emails and then come back with some excuse later that the dog ate your homework, no, that doesn't work. And we will ban you, and we will block your IP address, and we will block your PayPal account, and you're going to have to go through a lot of hoops to recreate all that. So just if you're going to bid, and if you're going to buy something, buy it, pay for it. Okay, it's time. I think people that buy online get treated like adults. The sellers want to be treated like adults, and the buyers want to be treated like adults. And this is going to be a platform that has rules, okay, for everybody to live by, in fairness to everyone, on both sides of every financial equation. Okay, I want this to be fun, and I don't want to hear about people misbehaving. If you misbehave, you're gone, okay? All right, and all of you have been so great. I can't thank you enough for all your ideas, and we'll have more next week. We're going to populate. We're testing the site next week, by the way, and we're going to be adding a whole lot of content, just as sort of dummy content to test it, to test how it handles things, how it processes, and so forth. Okay. And now on to the global member pages, because a lot happened over here this week on invaluable live auctioneers and so forth. We cleaned and updated the page because a bunch of stuff sold between Wednesday and last night. A few lots closed that were being sold over in Europe closed early this morning. So we were updating the global pages at around 6 o'clock this morning to get them squared away for the weekend. Last week we did it on Saturday, and I thought that was too late. So we're going to try and update them by Friday, and that way people heading into their weekends that subscribe can get right to it. All right. A couple of things I wanted to mention. This sale just came up on Zeus Willingwies. They have a 3-day sale. The best one is the first day, and then there's a very nice Netsky component at the end. Some interesting things. And this is a good auction. And they have things like this: a nice Cornelius Punk doctor's plate and underglazed blue. We talked, I think, a few weeks ago about Cornelis Punk, and it was done around 1738. But what's interesting what this auction house is doing, and I think this is absolutely brilliant, is down here at the bottom, there is a thing here called notices. And what it is their condition report page. And they have set up a downloadable PDF file for you to get the condition reports on any lot, because you'd never ever want to buy anything online unless you've gotten a condition report or the condition from the seller, or the condition report is stated on the piece, which they often don't do, unfortunately. I think they're out of their minds for not putting the condition report in every single listing, because you lose a lot of sellers. You lose a lot of, potential buyers, rather, if they think about having to send in for condition reports and then hang around waiting for them and dealing with the anxiety of whether or not it's going to come in time and all this sort of thing. They've put it all on one page, nice, easy, simple, and they're quite detailed. These condition reports here are really, really well done, I think. So bravo for this outfit, and I hope more auction houses take this up. It's a good idea. All right, and then over here, Carlo Bonti's sale just ended this morning. It was last night over in Europe, but it ended here this morning, rather. And they had pretty good results across the board. He always does. Interesting auction, lots of good things, and there was some particularly nice buys. One of the things that sold that I thought were pretty was this very, very brightly colored, overglazed blue enamel pair of vases with mask handles. Late 19th century type of vase, of course, but fabulously well decorated and very decorative themselves. Nice, strong colors. And went for just 750 euros, which I think was a great buy. And these were big. These were about 18 inches tall. A little over 18 inches tall. So these were nice size, nice display size for 750 euros, plus the buyer's premium and all that, which I think was, but those are very nice. And then on to this. This was something that was at Eddie's auctions. We don't always cover Eddie's because they have some other things that aren't quite as nice. But they did have this, a very nice Kangxi jar this time around, and ended up selling for $7,000. All right, which is about right for one of these, this bright with these kinds of colors, and very nicely done. All right, and then on to this. This was at Alex Cooper's sale. Alex Cooper's sale ended yesterday, and this was a great sale. And if you're an 18th century porcelain buyer and you're in the U.S. especially, and you collect export porcelain, I hope you paid attention to this sale. We brought it up a number of times. We had the whole sale on the global pages because the Chinese export porcelain, there were some real bargains in there. All right, I put this up. This is not Chinese export, of course. It's a Kangxi famille dish, but I just liked it a lot. It looks like a cup. It looks fairly small. It really isn't. This is almost a 10-inch bowl. And I love the fact that it had lotus tip rim around it, and the enamels all look to be in pretty good shape all the way around, and it sold for $3,750. The estimate was very low. Alex Cooper is very, very sensible about his estimates. He keeps them low. And what it does is it garners a lot of interest because the estimates are low, it means the reserves are low, it means the pieces are buyable, and you got a shot, and that gets your attention. And some of the Chinese export porcelain didn't sell for cheap, but they were very reasonable prices, and if you're a dealer, you're going to make some money with it. And then on to this. This is Carlo Bonte's sale again. It was this beautiful 25-inch tall, 25-inch tall, late 19th century vase with horizontal banding and famille rose enamels and so forth. Really, really pretty. I love the yellow handles with the blue on them. Absolutely elegant. Just lovely all the way around, and this vase did well, but it didn't go crazy. 1,600 euros, which I think was perfectly reasonable for that. For a big jar, very good display for a big pot like that, and late 19th century piece, but unusual pattern, which I think makes it very interesting. And then on to this was the at Carlo Bonte's was this very big, 39 centimeters. Okay, that's just a hair, about a 17-inch, 16.5-inch. 15.5-inch, excuse me, Yongchen period famille rose plate. They didn't date it. I don't know why. Maybe just a little shy. This is Carlo Bonte. Everybody knows what it is, but for some reason, sometimes he doesn't put the dates in. Anyway, I thought this was just a beautiful plate and beautiful bowl. I love the back is nice and clean. The foot rim looks good. And here's the front of it. And there it is against a gray background. It's amazing how different a white plate looks against a gray background versus a white background. Something to keep in mind when you're doing your own photography. Anyway, what was nice about this was the enamels were all in good shape all the way around. If you looked at it really carefully, always check the high points of the enamels because they tend to chip the earliest. And this one was in good shape, pretty much from everywhere I could see. It was in nice condition, and it had a good clear yellow. That yellow is very nice, nice, crisp, clear, clean yellow. And it sold for 1,300 euros, which isn't bad. That's not a bad price for that at all. That was the estimate was crazy low, $400 to $600, 400 to 600 euros. But anyway, that was a nice thing. And then on to this. This was over again down in at Cooper's sale, 22-inch plate. This is that one of the 20. He had actually two in the sale. Two 22-inch Arita chargers, which are monsters. Okay, $3,000 to $4,000 estimate, which I thought seemed very reasonable. I had several inquiries from Japanese collectors on these, on both the chargers, and I told everybody the same thing. I said, if you can get it for anywhere under the low estimate, you got a bargain on your hands. And this sold for $1,800 plus the buyer's premium and so forth. So shipped and in, you're into the thing probably for $2,300 or so, all right, or $2,400. But under the 3,000, you're in good shape. Nice plate. And then there was this one. We talked about this one a bit in detail last week because I like the vase in the middle particularly and how it was done and that beautiful rim. This sold for a little bit more, but still came in under the low estimate of $2,250 plus the premium plus the shipping. But again, 22 inches Arita. Heck of a nice thing. Heck of a nice thing. I hope somebody bought both of them. They'd look fabulous on a wall together, wouldn't they? All right, and then also at Cooper's, he had these. Was this very nice? It's not really a complete set because the under trays are slightly different. The cups are all identical. I think it's sort of an assembled set arrangement, but it doesn't matter. Beautiful Kangxi period femme vert. And some of them had these sort of, they had assorted Kangxi marks on the bottoms that they use that you're going to come across. But the enameling was quite nice on these. These are quite fine. The estimate was crazy low, $600 to $800. Ended up selling for 5 times the high estimate, which is not a big surprise. But very, very nice quality, beautiful quality. But they had other stuff in this sale. This is one of the things on the global pages. Hold on a second. There we go. Forgot to turn the phone off when I was doing the recording in my office. Oh, well. Anyway, here we go. So it was a great thing. Nice buy. I like that. I like really fine little cups and saucers. They're interesting. Okay, now over to what happened last week. And the global pages have all been updated for the weekend. So we're going to try and get that done Friday morning, and then we can talk about it during the video. And then a lot of you that use the pages, and you'll be all set for your weekend. Okay, now on to this. This was one of the great things. I don't agree with the seller on the date to this so much. I think it's more likely a mid-19th century thing, but one of the nicest bamboo carved boats I've seen in years. This is a great example. This is sort of the kind of bamboo carving you see in an institution, because it had everything going on it. Fabulous detail, fabulous quality, great patina, a fishing boat with all the nets and gear on top. Here's a family at the back. This is Chinese, but absolutely great quality. Absolutely great quality. Somebody has taken meticulous care of this for a long time, because it's in beautiful condition. But at any rate, a wonderful thing, and a lot of people thought it was wonderful, and it ended up selling for $3,388. But it was pretty good size. I forget, how long was this thing? 44 centimeters long. It was good size. So it was about 18 inches, just a hair under 18 inches long. Nice big piece of bamboo, beautifully carved, nice patina, untouched and not broken. Had a nick out of it. Who cares? Okay, now on to this. The pair of late Republic or early 50s vases in their display boxes, all original, with two Immortals opposing their mirrored pair with an inscription on the back. Nicely done, though. All ready to go. Good package. I had a couple of inquiries about this week, and I thought, well, they'll probably bring $2,000 to $3,000. If you can get them for under that, you got a good thing on your hands. And they went for $1,713, so somebody got a good thing. I hope it was one of our users got that, because it's just a wonderful, wonderful pair of the boxes that makes them so interesting when they come with their original wooden boxes. And then on to this. This is a great piece of Wing Fat silver. Those of you who don't know about Wing Fat, his stamp is very simple. It's just WF. He was a Hong Kong silversmith from 1890 to about 1930. He was known for putting out incredibly high quality silver. Just absolutely the best. I want to show you some of this. And this panel was sort of something he put on a lot of pieces for putting in monograms. But it'll give you an idea how good his silver is. And if you look at this carefully, you'll see how he did the scales on the dragon, how it loops under, and he actually shaded it. So it looks like a shadow when it went underneath and came out the other side. And just meticulous silversmithing, absolutely meticulous. And you can come over here and you look at the way the head was done, all the little shading details and patinas that he added here and around the nostrils, the teeth, the three-dimensionality of the piece, the way the dragon looks to be lifting off, and then the multiple carefully made clouds going out, and this very fine edged rim on the top. Just absolutely great. As I said, he was in operation from about 1890 to 1930. Very prominent maker. Very well known for high quality stuff. And he also worked with other silversmiths in other parts of China. Not all silversmiths did all their own work in one place. This fellow worked with smiths in Shanghai and other big cities to produce things for him, who did enameling for him, because he wanted the quality. He didn't have, his ego wasn't tied up in it, so he thought if somebody could do a better job at enameling, he wanted to hire him. And he did, and he contracted work out through other silversmiths. So anyway, this one went for $2,000, which I think was a perfectly good buy. Very, very nice. And then on to this. This was something our friend Josh up in New Hampshire had up. It was a nice piece of Kangxi work, 19th century with gold thread ground, and then figures here around a fire and some other people outside, and there's somebody here doing, he's got something coming out, there's some smoke coming out of a vase or something, and somebody here with an instrument, and then this nice peach framing around the piece. Just a very nicely done. There's a better shot of it here. It was an incense burner in the scene, and it's a smoke coming out of the lotus. Yeah, and then the instrument. Beautiful. This is an interesting thing. And somebody got a wonderful buy on it. They picked it up for $625, ready to go. It's the kind of thing that, you get it out of the box, you just walk around your house and find a room that never gets sunlight, and you can hang it up. You can have sunlight in the room, but you don't want to have sunlight on a wall where a silk painting is going to hang. You never, ever want to do that. Because it'll destroy the painting in under a year. It's amazing how fast the sun will suck the colors out of colored silk, colored cottons, any fabric, and watercolors are susceptible to the same kind of fading when done on paper. Always check the walls in a room before you hang a painting or artwork there, and see if it gets direct sunlight for more than a nanosecond a month. And if it has a lingering bright sunlight on there for an hour or two every day, you don't want to hang any watercolors or works on silk or anything like that, because it will destroy it in short order. It doesn't matter if the painting is under glass. It goes right through the glass, it goes right through the windows, and it'll go right through your silk and your watercolor. All right, and that sold for $600. And then on to this was this very nice Femi-Vert baluster jar, done sort of in the round with this continuous scene of flowers and blossoms and floating sprigs and so forth. Nice enamels. Obviously a late 19th century pot, but very nice. 15 inches in height, which made it a good size. And it sold for $1,000, which is perfectly fine. That was a perfectly fair price for that because it was very pretty. I was struck by how white the porcelain is. Really, really white. The glaze was nice and white. And then on to this. This was the 50th anniversary panel. It ended up selling for just $222. We talked about it last week. I liked it a lot because I liked the fact that it was a wedding couple's 50th anniversary commemorative thing. And you have this beautiful piece of needlework in the center and then some script commemorating the occasion. And again, all framed, ready to go. And somebody got it. I hope one of you got it because it was just $222. Very reasonable. You know, a good framing job these days is going to cost you $300 or $400. And I like old frames. I like frames that talk, you know, that when you look at them, you know they've been around for a while. They have a life to talk about. I like that. And then on to this, that nice presentation case court-style necklace done probably in around 1920 or so, 1930, 1920s. But beautiful quality and beautifully presented in its original box. And it also had, as you remember, the original silk cover lid that went over the box. Nice quality work, good little, lots of little beads in here. My wife looked at this actually the other morning over coffee. And she had spent some time living in China. And she speaks Mandarin and she knows the culture. And she thought maybe it was similar to some work that she had seen in Tibet. She thought it might have been Tibetan, possibly in origin. I don't know. But anyway, I liked it a lot. That's all I know. And I thought it would do very well. And it did. It brought $5,100 because it's not just a great look. Good looking. All right. And now over to this was another big piece of textile. This was a big needlework hanging panel of the Immortals, you know, with the peach and the bald guy. And so the three sun gods, I believe they are. And let's see, how did it do? It went reasonably. That's right. Yeah, $379. Not bad. It needed to be cleaned up and ironed and properly displayed. This looks like somebody dragged it out of the bottom drawer of their bureau after being there for a while. Should be hung and displayed properly. It would look quite handsome. Just don't put it in a sunny window. All right, and then on to this is this late Ming to transitional period square dish with the dragon up on his hind foot, four-clawed dragon. Sort of a folky looking piece of porcelain, but I like these. Ended up selling for $275. Not bad at all. Not bad. And then on to this, the tea caddy, little Kangxi looking tea caddy here with its lid. The lid had a crack in it. It had some minor issues, but it was still a nice example. The decoration was still good. Ended up selling for $120. Not bad. Sometimes these sell for a lot more. Sometimes they sell for $300 or $400 or $500. All right, and then on to this, the transitional jar. This was the one that went through back, as you recall, a month ago. Ended up selling for a little over $6,000, and the seller did not apparently get paid, and he put it right back up, which can sometimes be a little bit of an issue. And this time around, it brought $5,309. As a tip out there, if you're selling on eBay, and we have found this worked. If you're selling on eBay and you have something that does not get paid for, just because the buyer ignores your invoices, if you're going to relist it, wait a month or two and don't reuse the same exact photographs, all right? Because it visually, subconsciously stigmatizes the piece. So if you're going to relist it, take the time to take it, and in this case, you know, maybe put it on a piece of gradient paper or give it a background that won't ring a bell with anybody when you put it back up. Because when people re-see things, even if there's absolutely nothing wrong with them, they'll say, oh, well, something wrong with it because it's up again, and I remember those pictures. All right, so take it, put it away for a couple of months. Do yourself a favor, or do your customer a favor, and put it away for a month or two if you can. And then reshoot it under different lighting, make it look still the same piece, just make it look nice, and then repost it later and see if that doesn't help you out a little bit. Okay, it's my little lecture for the day. All right, and then on to this was the dragon roundel with a nice gold metallic threads. I like the expression on his face with the curls and everything. I thought that was rather nice. And this was a nice piece, late Qing Dynasty, late 19th, early 20th century. Still had the original cotton or linen backing on it. And ended up selling for $1,177, which was pretty good. All right, but that was a nice piece of silk. Textiles always seem to do well these days. It's interesting. And then over here to the a few things coming up this week. This is something we're going to look at, and we're going to check it out a little further. Is what looks to be a late 19th century piece of very good Paktong work. And we're gonna put that in the newsletter. We want to do some little bit of digging around on it. We saw this right before we started recording, and I said, "Gee, that looks like a pretty good one." It's got the hammered and splined pin on the top, and the surface looks good. The handle looks good. So, anyway, it's up to just $200 right now. It closes in 5 days. And check the newsletter page over on Bidamount.com. That may be there later on today. And this is something that's sort of funny. It struck me funny. The seller, I'm sure, didn't do it on purpose, but he shot himself in the foot. This is not a replica. He called this a replica of a Ming Dynasty Oriental vase. And, of course, all of you know, those of you who've been collecting for a while know, this is a later 18th century guglet. They made these. It's the pattern is sort of a stock pattern. It is not a contemporary piece at all. It's clearly an 18th century pot. It has some restoration here and here, but if you don't mind that too much, it's perfectly good one. Guglets are sort of a rare form, and it's up to $200, $157, and it closes tomorrow. So we'll put that in the newsletter for somebody that wants that. But and the interesting thing about the neck has some restoration on it, but I don't know what the damage is. It may just be a crack and they overpainted it. So you got to always check those things out. And then on to this. This was something somebody had sent this into the submission thing to me to look at. It's a very nice, here's a picture of the bottom of it, later Republic period vase. It's got China stamped into the foot, but nice enambling. And I like the scene on it. It's very well done all the way around. Nice landscape scene. This closes in a couple of days, and it's good size. This is a good size pot. It is, let's see, where are the dimensions on this thing? I know they're here somewhere. 16.5 inches tall, so it's a big Republican pot. $175 is the bid. It closes Sunday. If you like Republican porcelain, check this out. I think it's a nice one. I do. I really do. Alrighty, that's it for the week. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great weekend. And over the weekend we'll update the global member pages for you. If you're thinking of joining the global member pages, you might want to do that, because we do find a lot of stuff, and we've updated it, and we're working on a system now that the things are sort of getting back to normal around here for handling scheduled things a little better than we've been doing our best, but it's hard. It's hard with everybody coming and going, and I had to spend some time up in New Hampshire for a couple of reasons and things going on. So at any rate, but do check out the global pages and the newsletter page. We update once a week, and we'll tell you more about the sellers page as soon as it becomes available. Alrighty, have a wonderful weekend. Fall is here. Okay, bye-bye.